Presentations are a big part of business. Now, whether that's a sales presentation to hopefully win your next big client, or an internal presentation with your staff to try and convey some information over to them. At their core, presentations are about telling a story and getting that information over to your audience in the best possible way. So with that in mind, we put together these 7 top presentation tips. Now, just a quick extra tip before we get started here is that when we're talking about presentations, we're not necessarily just talking about a PowerPoint file that's saved on your desktop. Presentation itself is so much more than that. Presentation is about presenting your idea. So you're the presenter, and PowerPoint, if that's what you choose to use, is just the canvas, if you like. It's just the way that you're going to translate that information over. So get out of that headspace of a presentation being a PowerPoint. Think about other ways that you could convey that message, whether it's through video content or a different type of software, or just you talking to people with a still image behind you. Anything behind you, like a PowerPoint file, is just there as kind of reinforcement of whatever it is that you're talking about. You want people to be looking at you rather than looking at something you've put together with loads of words and stuff. So it's really important to think about it in those terms. Tip 1 is show, don't tell. So what we're talking about here is basically, not just listing out a bunch of stuff you can do for people if you're talking in a sales pitch or a presentation along those sorts of lines. Don't just list out, these are the things we do, blah, 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 blah. You want to be demonstrating the value that brings, maybe through case studies or relevant examples. So make sure you're illustrating the big picture and demonstrating those benefits as opposed to just listing out the stuff that you do. Tip 2 follows on from tip 1, and this one is all about not using 50 words when 5 will do. So don't just sit there, and have a PowerPoint presentation or whatever it is you're using as a sort of visual cue full of words, because for one thing, you want people, as I said, you want people to be focusing on you rather than on whatever it is you put up on a screen behind you. And also, if you've got all those words there, you'll be sorely tempted to just stand there and read. Your audience will then be thinking, if this person was just coming to read to me, they could have just sent me a file and I could have just read it myself. It's not a bedtime story, it's a presentation. Tip 3 is that a picture will paint 1,000 words. So if you're going to be using a presentation file, if you like, a PowerPoint or similar, use nice big bold imagery that you can use as a prompt for your own presentation skills internally. You can look at it and think, oh yeah, this is what I was going to be demonstrating with this image, but that can be interpreted by your audience in a number of positive ways. So don't fill a slide for the text or things like that. Use nice big bold imagery to keep you on track and to just pull together the sort of connotations of whatever imagery it is that you're deciding to use. Tip 4 is to get to know your audience and to be agile. So a presentation shouldn't just be one person just droning on at another person or another set of people. It should be a two-way street, it should be a conversation. So allow your audience to interact, open up the floor to questions as you go, because not only will that mean that that audience feels more comfortable, it just expands the opportunities for so many different avenues of discussion, and potentially, sets you apart from those people that will just sort of go through their, here's our standard slide deck of 50 slides, bang, 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 bang. If you can remain agile and actually have in the back of your mind, oh yeah, these are the things that we can talk about, and maybe these are the things that we've got in the slide deck that we can move to and from, then you'll know that you can be agile and you can move around, and the presentation becomes bespoke then. It's a presentation to that audience and that audience alone, and they'll be left thinking, yeah, these people know what they're talking about, and also these people want to talk about us rather than about themselves. Tip 5 is that it's not just what you say, but it's how you say it. So this is all about confidence and putting that sort of confidence across to your audience. So this actually is all about just having a bit of a practice a lot of the time. So stand in front of the mirror, practice to a member of your family, if you like, if they'll listen to you. Practice with your colleagues if you're putting together a presentation for a potential pitch or something like that, and just work on it. You have to sort of come across as if you're confident, you know what you're talking about. Because in a sales pitch, for example, you might be the best person for the job. Your company might be the perfect fit for this company. But if you don't get that across in the way that you present, there's a good chance that that opportunity could be missed. So tone of voice, body language, that counts for a lot. Just make sure that you're well practiced, you're well versed, and you come across in the right way. Tip number 6 is all about remaining on brand. So that's in both whatever presentation assets you produce, if you're using a PowerPoint or similar, and also in the tone of voice that you use and the way that you present. So you need to make sure that your presentation marries up with the rest of your branded assets, so that the journey for these people that have come to be your audience is not broken by your presentation. It fits with their expectations of what they think your brand is about. So make sure that you've done your due diligence, I suppose, from a brand perspective, and that you make sure your presentation fits with the rest of your brand. Another bit to add here quickly is that we know lots of people get asked to just email over your presentation after you're done, so we can go through it with our colleagues and so on. And we would try to avoid that wherever you can, because your presentation, as we've established, is not the PowerPoint file, it's how you present. So getting someone else to present whatever the asset is in the same way is a very tall order. We'd always recommend, well, if other people want to be involved, let's get them in to talk to them now, or let's arrange a time that we can come back and re-present to them, because otherwise it's never going to have the same essence, the same tone of voice and delivery that you've given. So try to avoid that if you can. It's not always possible, but in those circumstances you might be better off with a separate asset entirely that uses more of the text and the prompts within the file itself, so it becomes sort of self-sufficient in its own right. Not a presentation as such, but the information that you've conveyed. And the last tip, tip 7, and this is kind of the sales bit, I suppose, is if you need support, get support. Whether that's from someone internally or from a third party. Square One, for example, we've worked with so many different companies that struggle with presentations and getting them right. And it seems like it should be such a simple thing, but I think that's a lot of the time people have lower expectations of themselves in these presentation scenarios. There's so much opportunity in delivering a really killer presentation. So make sure you're putting that effort in, make sure you're spending the time to get all these bits right, and you'll stand out so much from the rest of the crowd. We can offer support in terms of in-depth training. We can offer workshopping and a bit of consultation for the presenters, but we're also happy and able to support people in producing their assets, their background presentations, and making sure that they're hitting the mark, and any other assets that might be useful in the follow-up to the presentation. So there's our top 7 tips. Hopefully that gives everyone lots to think about from a presentation perspective. If you need any support, you know where we are, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.